In this video I'm going to take a look at assigning or subletting a commercial premises. This basically covers a situation where you may hold the lease on a particular commercial premises and you want to transfer it to somebody else or you want to sublet it. This video will look at some of the essential aspects of that proposed move. The first thing that you must be aware of is that there's always a restriction in practically every lease. In other words, you will require the landlord's consent. Most leases will contain a restriction on alienation, that is, the assignment or subletting of your lease. You're going to need the landlord's consent. This allows him to protect his investment and ensures that he doesn't end up with a tenant in the building that may impact or prejudice or damage or diminish his investment in the building. He cannot unreasonably withhold his consent. What's reasonable in any particular situation will depend on the actual circumstances. If the tenant is not happy, he can go to court to seek an order that the withholding of the consent is unreasonable. Many leases will also contain a preemption clause. This allows the landlord first option on taking the premises in any assignment or taking it back if you're proposing to sublet it or get out. The tenant then will generally look for a break clause in any lease, should certainly look for a break clause. This will be exercisable at the time of the first rent review, which may be 1 year, 3 years or 5 years. When it comes down to the assignment of the lease, the existing tenant, that's yourself if you're holding the lease and you wish to assign it, you'll need to give the landlord trade and bank references for the proposed new tenant. You will also need to be released from your existing personal guarantee if you've given one, and service charges will have to be apportioned between you and the new tenant. When it comes to subletting, if you're proposing to subletting, the same principles will apply. That is, references will need to be furnished to the head landlord. The existing tenant that you will become the landlord for the new subtenant if you sublet your premises. The head landlord's consent will be required. There's a certain amount of legal formalities in any lease. It's very, very similar to a conveyance situation. Many people make the mistake, small business owners, startups make a mistake of signing what's put in front of them. This is a significant and serious mistake. You do need a solicitor to check the legal formalities. For example, the legal title of the landlord and the terms and conditions and covenants in the lease. Taking on a lease for even 5 years is a huge commitment, particularly if things go badly after 6 months or a year. You're stuck with a legally binding contract, a legally binding obligation to pay rent for the following 5 years. I've seen some horror stories where tenants simply signed what was put in front of them by the landlord. Then they discovered that the landlord is in difficulty perhaps with the bank and did not have consent to grant the lease. And the bank then puts in a receiver, and the occupier of the premises is in difficulty because the receiver is simply looking to get the occupier out on the basis that the landlord did not have the consent from the lender. Also, I have seen situations where there was no planning permission. So the people who came to me were carrying on a business, and the next thing is they're slapped with planning enforcement threat from the local council. The premises did not have the required planning permission. My name is Gorry. I'm a solicitor in Enfield. I do quite a bit of small business law. I coach and I consult with small business owners, startups, people looking to get into business. I have a lot of experience in business myself. I've been in business since 1986. If you like this video, you might give it a thumbs up down below, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, and you might be interested in subscribing to my YouTube channel because I've got a lot of videos there about doing business in Ireland, about small business law and so on and so forth. Thanks for watching.